Kachi was the first to raise the idea. He was tall, strong, and always dreaming big. "Brothers," he said one night under the moonlight, "see how our people suffer. See how mothers bend in the market just to sell pepper and cassava, yet return with empty baskets. I cannot sit here and watch. Lagos is calling. There is money in that city. I will go." Chima, his closest friend, sighed. Chima was gentle, clever with numbers, and loved telling stories. "Kachi, you are right. Even the birds know where the ripe fruit hangs. If we sit here, hunger will finish us. But if we go to Lagos, maybe, just maybe, we can return with something to feed our families." Buchi, the youngest of the three, clapped his hands in excitement. "I am ready. Let us go together. 3 brothers, 1 mission. We will not fail." So they agreed. When the news reached their families, the mothers wept. No mother wants her son to be swallowed by the city. Kachi's mother held him tight. "My son, Lagos is a sea that has swallowed many fishes. Shine your eyes. Remember the home you are leaving behind." Chima's mother gave him a small Bible and whispered, "Carry this with you. The city has teeth. May this book be your shield." Buchi's mother packed roasted groundnuts in a calabash, saying, "You may find bread in Lagos, but you will miss the taste of home." The 3 young men promised to be wise. They promised to send money home. They promised not to forget where they came from. The day of departure came. The whole village gathered to see them off. Some clapped, others shook their heads. "Ah, our sons are brave, but Lagos is no one's friend. Let them go, let them try." With small bags on their backs, they boarded an old bus heading to Lagos. The bus roared like a tired lion, coughing smoke into the sky. The road was long. They passed through forests, rivers, towns, and cities. At every stop, sellers rushed to the windows with bananas, bread, and sachets of water. The friends shared their little food, laughing and talking about the great life waiting for them. Chima pointed at the sky. "Brothers, see that sun? It is watching us. It will also watch when we return home with plenty." Buchi smiled. "One day, our names will be sung in this village." But Kachi said nothing. He was already lost in his dream of wealth. When they finally reached Lagos, the city greeted them with noise, smoke, and crowd. The streets were filled with people rushing like ants. Cars honked, hawkers shouted, tall buildings rose like giants. The 3 friends looked around with wide eyes. "This place is another world," Buchi whispered. "Another world that eats careless men," Chima added. But Kachi stretched his arms and shouted, "This is the land of gold. We will succeed here." They rented a small 1-room apartment in Ajangunal, a crowded part of Lagos. The room was hot, small, and had a leaking roof. They slept on mats, side by side, like sardines. The first week, they searched for jobs. They walked the streets under the burning sun, moving from shop to shop, office to office. Some people looked at them and shook their heads. "No vacancy. Leave your CV. We will call you." Others laughed. "Village boys, Lagos is not your mate." At night, they returned home tired and hungry. Buchi complained, "I thought Lagos was full of money. Where is the money?" Chima replied, "Even money has its hiding place. We must be patient." Kachi clenched his fists. "No, we didn't leave home to sleep hungry. Tomorrow, I will find something." The next day, while walking around Balagan Market, Kachi met a man named Obeli. Obeli wore shiny clothes, gold chains, and moved with swagger. He saw the hunger in Kachi's eyes. "Young man," Obeli said, "Lagos does not reward patience. Lagos rewards smartness. If you want money, follow me. In 1 week, you will be sending plenty home." Kachi's heart jumped. "What kind of work is this?" he asked. Obeli smiled with half-closed eyes. "Work that pays. Don't ask too many questions. Lagos is not for saints." Kachi thought of his mother's tears, Chima's Bible, and Buchi's roasted groundnuts, but hunger spoke louder than wisdom. He told himself, "I will just try once. After all, I came here to feed home." That night, Kachi shared Obeli's offer with his friends. Chima's eyes widened. "No, Kachi, The path of quick money is full of thorns. We didn't leave home to destroy home. We must be patient. Buchi shook his head too. Our mothers trusted us. Remember the village songs. Remember who we are. But Kachi grew angry. You two are cowards. I didn't come to Lagos to count stars at night. I will not die poor. Tomorrow, I will follow Obeli. Silence filled the room. The bond of three brothers was cracking. That night, Chima had a dream. In the dream, he saw a river. The river was wide, dark, and angry. Kachi tried to cross it, but halfway, a hand pulled him down. Chima screamed in his sleep. He woke up sweating. He shook Kachi and Buchi. Brothers, listen. I saw danger. If we choose the wrong road, it will swallow us. Kachi, please, do not follow that man. But Kachi only turned his face to the wall. The dream of a hungry man is nothing but hunger talking, he said. In those days, the elders often told a story. A tortoise once left his home in the forest to find food in the city of birds. The birds welcomed him, gave him wings, and carried him to the feast in the sky. But when the food was served, Tortoise grew greedy. He wanted everything for himself. The birds grew angry, took back their wings, and left him to fall from the sky. He landed on the ground, and that is why his shell is cracked till today. The old story whispered in Chima's ears. He knew Lagos was the feast in the sky, and men like Obeli were the borrowed wings. But how could he make his friend listen? The next morning, Kachi dressed in his best shirt. He sprayed cheap perfume and wore a borrowed wristwatch. I will not suffer again, he said proudly. Obeli will show me the way. Watch me return with money. Chima begged him one last time. Kachi, remember your mother's words. Remember who you are. Buchi also knelt, holding Kachi's hand. Brother, let us suffer together. Better small food in peace than big food in shame. But Kachi pulled his hand away. Enough. You two can remain in this small room, but I will not die like this. Tonight, Lagos will know my name. He left. The door closed behind him with a sound that felt like thunder. Chima and Buchi sat in silence. A heavy wind seemed to pass through the room. The city of Lagos had chosen its test. Kachi followed Obeli into a world he had never known. They entered nightclubs where the music shook the walls. They rode in flashy cars that smelled of leather and power. Girls smiled at them. Drinks flowed. Obeli placed bundles of cash into Kachi's hands. You see, in Lagos, you don't ask too many questions. You take what you see, enjoy it, and move on. Tomorrow is not promised. Kachi's eyes glittered. In one night, he held more money than his father ever touched in a year. His heart whispered, at last, I can send money home. My mother will dance. The village will praise me. But another voice, quiet and stubborn, whispered, remember the dream. Remember the Bible. Remember the roasted groundnuts. Kachi pushed that voice away. Back in Ajangunal, Chima and Buchi counted their last coins. Their room was empty, the mats worn, their stomachs hollow. Buchi sighed. See how our friend has changed. He doesn't sleep here anymore. He doesn't even share his bread with us. Chima shook his head. Quick wealth blinds the eyes, but blindness does not last forever. They tried small jobs. Chima washed cars by the roadside. Buchi carried loads in the market. Their clothes grew dirty, but their hearts remained clean. At night, they prayed, God of our fathers, show us mercy. Keep us from shame. Protect Kachi from himself. Weeks passed. The mothers in the village sent messages. Kachi's mother wrote, My son, we have not heard from you. Hunger is still here. If you have found work, please send something. Even one bag of rice will be enough. Chima's mother wrote, My son, I am proud of your patience. Do not envy those who rise to fast. A tree that grows too quickly may not have strong roots. Buchi's mother wrote, My child, remember you left with friends. Stay with them. Do not let Lagos scatter you. When the letters came, Kachi laughed. He bought a bag of rice and sent it home. He also sent some money with a proud note. Mama, Lagos is good to me. Soon, you will no longer know hunger. Your son is now a big man. His mother danced in the village square. praising her son. But Chima frowned when he saw the letter. Money without sweat is like smoke. It will rise, but it cannot stay. One evening, as Kachi followed Obeli into another deal, he noticed a police van parked nearby. Obeli whispered, "Calm down. Lagos police are dogs. Feed them bone, and they will bark for you." But Kachi's hands shook. He remembered Chima's dream about the river. He remembered the elder's words. The yam that grows too fast may have a snake inside. Still, he stayed. The money was too sweet, too heavy in his pockets. One night, Kachi returned to the room in Ajangunal. He wore a new shirt, smelled of perfume, and carried bags of food. "Brothers," he shouted, "come and eat. Today, we dine like kings." Buchi rushed to hug him, but Chima stood back. "Kachi, where did this come from?" he asked. "Work," Kachi replied quickly. "What kind of work?" Kachi grew angry. "Why must you question me? Do you want to remain poor forever?" Chima's voice was firm. "Better poor with peace than rich with chains." Buchi looked between them, tears in his eyes. "Please, do not fight. We are brothers." But Kachi's heart was already far from them. He left again that night, slamming the door. The city began to whisper Kachi's name. "Ah, that village boy. He is moving with Obeli now." Obeli's boys don't last long. One by one, the city swallows them. Kachi didn't care. He bought new shoes, drank beer, and danced in clubs. But each night, when he lay on soft beds, he saw shadows. Sometimes he heard his mother's voice. Sometimes he saw Chima's dream, the dark river pulling him down. He would wake up sweating, but by morning, the money blinded him again. Meanwhile, Chima and Buchi's patience began to bear small fruits. A car owner noticed Chima's careful washing and offered him steady work. "You are honest," the man said. "Come every week, I will pay you well." Buchi too found a small place in the market where he could help arrange goods for traders. They gave him food and little pay. Slowly, the two brothers began to eat better. Their room looked less empty. Buchi smiled. "See, brother, our sweat is small, but it is clean." Chima nodded, and clean sweat has no police chasing it. One fateful night, Obeli called Kachi. "There is a big deal," he said, his eyes shining. "If we succeed, you will never touch poverty again." Kachi hesitated. He remembered his friend's warnings, the dream, the letters, but greed covered his ears. "Count me in," he said. The plan was set. They would trick a businessman, take his money, and vanish before sunrise. Obeli laughed, simple as drinking palm wine. But Lagos was listening. That night, the rain poured heavily. The streets of Lagos were dark and wet. Kachi and Obeli entered a hotel room, waiting for the businessman. When the man arrived with a briefcase, everything moved fast to fast. There was shouting, struggling, then the sound of a door bursting open. Police stormed the room. "Hands up, you are under arrest." Kachi froze. His dream of wealth melted like butter in fire. Obeli tried to run, but the police caught him. The briefcase opened, and money spilled across the floor. Kachi's heart pounded. He remembered Chima's words. "Better poor with peace than rich with chains." Now the chains were real cold metal on his wrists. Back in Ajangunal. That same night, Chima woke with a start. His chest was heavy. He felt trouble in the air. Buchi was already awake, looking out the window at the storm. "Something is wrong," Chima whispered. "Yes," Buchi replied. "I feel it too." They prayed together until morning. The next day, news reached them. Kachi has been arrested. Kachi sat on the cold floor of a Lagos police cell. His fine shirt was torn, his shoes gone. Around him were men with hard eyes, criminals who laughed at his tears. He held his head in his hands. "Is this how my dream ends? I only wanted to feed home." Days passed. He was taken to court. Obeli, the man he followed, denied knowing him. "Who is this village boy?" Obeli said. "He only begged to follow me." Kachi's heart broke. The man he trusted left him to carry shame alone. When Chima and Buchi heard the news, they rushed to the police station. They saw Kachi through the iron bars. His face was pale, his eyes full of regret. "Brothers," Kachi whispered, "I have fallen." Buchi cried, "We warned you. but still, you are our brother. We will not leave you here. Chima nodded. Even a broken pot still holds water when love is poured into it. They begged, they prayed, they looked for help. After many struggles, they found a kind lawyer who pitied them and helped reduce Kachi's punishment. Instead of long years in prison, Kachi was freed after some months with a heavy fine. When Kachi finally stepped out of the prison gates, Lagos no longer looked bright. The noise, the cars, the tall buildings all seemed to mock him. He followed Chima and Buchi back to their small room in Ajangunal. As they sat together, Kachi covered his face. I wanted to bring pride to my mother. Instead, I brought shame. I wanted to feed home, but I ended up empty. Brothers, forgive me. Chima touched his shoulder. You are forgiven, but remember, Lagos teaches with a heavy hand. Some do not live to tell the lesson. Buchi added, home is not fed by quick hands but by steady ones. News reached their village. This time, the mothers did not dance. Kachi's mother wept. I told him, Lagos is a sea that swallows careless fish. Chima's mother prayed harder. Buchi's mother comforted the others. The village elders gathered under the big tree and spoke. One son has fallen. Let this be a warning to the others. The city gives, but it also takes. The youth must learn. Kachi stayed in Lagos but changed his ways. He joined Chima in washing cars, joined Buchi in helping traders. It was slow, it was hard, but it was clean. Sometimes when sweat rolled down his back, he remembered the cold of the prison floor and thanked God for another chance. Chima often reminded him, a man who has fallen and risen again is stronger than one who never fell, if he learns from it. Together, the three friends worked, little by little, and sent small but honest money back to their families. After 2 years, they returned to their village. They did not return with cars or big clothes. They came back with small gifts, clean hearts, and wiser minds. The people gathered. Some whispered, these are the boys who went to Lagos. Others said, they suffered, but see, suffering has polished them. Kachi stood before the youths of the village and spoke. My brothers, my sisters, hear my story. I left home to feed home. I thought Lagos was easy, but I nearly lost my soul. Quick wealth nearly buried me. Learn from me. The hand that gathers slowly gathers what lasts. The hand that gathers fast gathers shame. The elders nodded. The mothers wept again, but this time, they wept with relief. The story ends with this truth. A city may shine, but not all that shines is food. Quick money is a river that drowns many. The road of patience is long, but it leads home safely. When youth leave home to feed home, let them remember, it is not how fast you run, but how wisely you walk.